Hi, folks. This is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report. I want to tell you about a couple strange things that have come to my awareness over the last week that I wanted to tell you about. And it isn't really about fishing, but it is because the first one is about the bird flu. It's called H5N1, and that's the name of the flu that is affecting wild birds. Well, why is it important for me to tell you? Well, there's been a couple things that have happened. Number one, there was a report down near Syracuse of one of the bald eagles that lived in that area, and this woman was watching. It was perched in a tree, and all of a sudden it just collapsed, fell down on the ground. And she noticed that his head was almost backwards. And somehow she was able to, believe me, I can't imagine a person walking up to an eagle, of all things, whether it had fallen out of a tree or what it had done, and handling it. But she was able to put its wing back in place. Its wing was outstretched in a very awkward position. Well, called Cornell. They came, they got the bird. They did tests on it also because this wild bird flu is part of I guess you can say, an epidemic. We've heard of all the domestic poultry raisers that they get one case of bird flu, one case, they're supposed to kill every single bird that they have to keep it from spreading because it can be vicious. And this particular H5N1 is affecting wild birds. Back in 2014 and 15, when we had the last spread of bird flu in the country, it was mostly domestic birds. Now wild birds are being affected, and especially raptors. So it's something to be on the lookout for. And I guess why I'm telling you this is that I've said before, no matter how wonderful everything can seem around us, it's important to realize that things can change in a heartbeat. And in this case, it actually is a heartbeat. But, an invasive species can come in on a boat or something, or some virus can spread. And none of us, whether we're people, whether we're animals, or whether we're fish, are immune to the possibilities of the very fragileness of life. And this bird flu is just something that I think is important to talk about because, we have ospreys, we have all kinds of raptors, hawks, and so forth. And there's been cases of hawks that have been affected same thing has happened, and they've been taken in and their brains no longer function. And then they start getting tremors, and then their head starts wobbling from side to side. This is one of the symptoms of this bird flu. So why I brought it forth for you is I just thought you might be interested. And most of you probably haven't heard about this. Here's another thing you might not have thought about, and it just came to my attention. I didn't even know it. We talk about tiger muskies being a sort of an artificial spawning thing of northern pike and muskies. They're sterile, they can't reproduce, but they're bred for a certain purpose because you put these in areas where there's a misbalance of nature, where they can feed on too many of the game fish or the prey fish that are in there. That's the purpose of putting these tiger muskies. Plus, they provide great sport. Well, I heard about this combination of a tiger and a lion. Probably a lot of you have heard that, but it's called a liger. So why would they do this? And I think in this case, it isn't to create a better animal out there in life. It's sort of like the old Ringling and Bailey's Circus or whatever. It's a freak show type of thing. But these ligers, they will mate in nature, a lion and a tiger, and they become the biggest cats in the world. The biggest cats. If you can imagine something bigger than a tiger and a lion, it has the huge body strength of a tiger, and it looks like a lion, and it grows even bigger. So why am I telling you this? I just thought it was really interesting, and they become almost blonde, and their face looks like a lion's, but their body is is almost elongated like a tiger's. It's interesting the things that can happen in nature. This can happen naturally, but I think it's usually done by people trying to bring together some kind of a interesting freak show that they can show people. In any event, it's something that, I want to tell you about the bird flu, and I want to tell you about this other thing that's come to my awareness. And I always try to spread these things out to all of you because I have a voice here on the radio, and I can tell you things, and I try to tell you things I think would be interesting. I don't want to spread bad feelings or anything like that in the world, but there's so much happening out there around us, and sometimes some of the most amazing things, and we're unaware of them. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report.